Hey, welcome back to Brighter Rays. This is the conclusion of our study. Will you be ready to meet me? From Malachi 2:17 through 3:5. So let's wrap up what we've been talking about this week. Talking about there is a day coming. The day comes. Behold, the day comes. Now, this fact ought to drive us to examine ourselves. This passage of Malachi has confronted us some serious questions. Do you weary God with your words? And he's never wearied by his children. The believer who loves the Lord and obeys him does not need to worry about wearying him. But if you're not a Christian, then your words will be used to convict at the end. If you ever wondered where Jesus was, if you doubt his return, if you think that God is not just in his dealings with us, be careful what you wish for. Jesus will come in judgment. He will not show partiality. Only those who prepared to meet him will stand on that day. Are you truly ready to meet him? See, that's what most people are counting on God to be partial. They say, well, yeah, I've done some bad things, but look at all these good things I've done. Well, God's law says if you break one, you're guilty of the whole thing. That's the law. If you break one, you've transgressed the entire law. So if you break them all, how much more guilty are you? So some people think that, okay, if I have enough good works on this side, that will cancel out somehow the bad things I've done. No matter what you believe, if you have a Roman Catholic background or a Latter-day Saint or Jehovah's Witness, if you're under that kind of cloud of what we call Christianity, if you have those other works-based systems of faith and belief and gaining favor before God, it doesn't make any sense. God is not partial. He doesn't look at what you've done as good and then like, oh, okay, that's equal to this sin. Because one sin equals a transgression of the entire law. Just one. So if you have piles and piles of sin, how good do you have to be to cancel that out? You don't have time to do something that's good. And then like, how do you know what merits what? How do you know what's good enough? Because sin requires blood, and that's what the Old Testament tells us. Sin requires the spilling of blood, our blood. Because some people are like, well, Jesus paid for original sin, and then we have to pay for our own sin, and that doesn't help you though, because how long do you need to suffer in purgatory or whatever in order to equal goodness? Suffering doesn't equal goodness. Suffering is a result of sin. So how could suffering bring about goodness? Because those who are in hell are going to keep sinning. They're going to keep suffering more and more. They will never stop suffering because they never stop sinning. And evil will be put in its place. So it doesn't really make any sense. Either Christ paid for all our sin, and it's not based on works at all, or we're in trouble. Or you're counting on God to be partial in his judgment and have mercy on you. Not really have mercy, but not to exact punishment for what you deserve. Or anywhere. Because if you don't believe he didn't put it all on Jesus and you think you have to pay part of it, then he is being partial. But the question is, are you truly ready to meet him? Because you have to give all your confidence, all your trust in him. So Christians, remember that God is a refiner. He is at work burning away the dross that is mixed with your faith. In the end, he will come up shining like the sun, but in the meantime, he must suffer the heat. Take courage. Don't grow weary. Don't grow weary in doing well. In the end, you will receive that reward, but we have to go through this refining. We have to be laundered because we're dirty. So the witness against wickedness will come swiftly. The judge is seated on the judgment seat. The witnesses are being called, and it won't be long before the trial starts. Are we ready for that day? Many were not ready for his first coming. Are we ready for his second? At midnight, there was a cry, "Here's the bridegroom. Come out to meet him." Those who were ready went in with him to the marriage feast. Afterward, the others came also, saying, "Lord, Lord, open to us." But he answered, "Truly I say to you, I do not know you. Watch therefore, for you know neither the day nor the hour." That's our study for this week. Come back next time. We'll continue on in Malachi, looking at the rest of this chapter 3 here. Then we'll move right into 4, and then we'll move on to our next study. So Malachi is a quick book to go through, and just got a couple more studies left in it. So come back next week for the next section.